gonna make you.
Jey bounced right off her.
In a shocking turn of events backstage, Solo SIKOA launched a brutal attack on Jey Uso, leaving fans reeling. The tension between the two wrestlers has been brewing, but no one expected it to escalate to this level. With Jey Uso's future hanging in the balance, the repercussions of this ambush could spell the end of his illustrious career. Was this a calculated move by SIKOA to assert dominance, or a desperate act driven by the high stakes of the WWE? Join us as we delve into this explosive confrontation and its potential impact on the wrestling world. The WWE locker room is still buzzing with confusion, anger, and outright shock. Solo SIKOA, who has been a loyal soldier in the Bloodline's dominance, has betrayed the family's unity, unleashing his full fury on his older brother, Jey. This act of violence is unprecedented within a faction known for its strength and solidarity. The WWE has seen its fair share of betrayals, but nothing quite like this. This isn't just a wrestling feud. This is a real family tearing itself apart in front of the world's eyes. A regular evening turns chaotic. It was a regular evening backstage at a WWE event when all hell broke loose. Witnesses described the scene as chaotic and heartbreaking. Solo, usually silent and brooding, was spotted pacing aggressively, clearly agitated about something. His eyes, full of fire, were locked onto Jey, who seemed completely unaware of what was about to happen. In a split second, Solo exploded, throwing Jey against a concrete wall and delivering brutal punches and kicks with a ferocity we've never seen from him before. Onlookers tried to intervene, but no one could get near them. Solo was a man possessed. The sound of fists meeting flesh echoed throughout the halls, leaving even the toughest WWE superstars frozen in disbelief. Jey, who has always been portrayed as a resilient competitor, struggled to fight back, but was no match for Solo's relentless assault. Solo's attack was fueled by pure rage, a manifestation of tensions that had been building for months. The roots of betrayal. The story behind this escalating feud stretches back several months, with the cracks in the Bloodline's foundation becoming more visible over time. Tensions between Jey and Roman Reigns have been brewing ever since Jey began questioning Roman's leadership and dominance over the family. Jey, always the loyal lieutenant, started to show signs of rebellion, often clashing with Roman and, by extension, Solo. This growing discord created an atmosphere ripe for conflict. Solo has always been the quiet, mysterious member of the Bloodline. He rarely speaks, but when he acts, it's with deadly precision. For months, he seemed content with his role, dutifully carrying out orders and backing up Roman without hesitation. However, the slow unraveling of Jey's loyalty must have stirred something deep within Solo, a primal urge to assert his dominance and maintain the family's order. Perhaps it was a need to prove himself not just as Roman's enforcer, but as the true backbone of the Bloodline. The moment of violence. As tensions escalated, Solo's demeanor shifted. Those who had witnessed him over the past few months noted a growing intensity in his actions. It was as if the weight of the Bloodline's legacy rested heavily on his shoulders. The atmosphere backstage that fateful evening was charged with anticipation. Solo's agitation was palpable. He was clearly on edge, waiting for a moment to explode. Then it happened. In a sudden burst of energy, Solo lunged at Jey. The chaotic scene unfolded so rapidly that it took everyone by surprise. Solo's initial attack sent Jey crashing into the wall, and the brutality of the moment was shocking. Solo unleashed a torrent of punches, each one filled with the weight of his frustration, anger, and disappointment. This was more than just a fight. It was a declaration of war between brothers, a culmination of unresolved issues that had been festering beneath the surface. A heartbreaking betrayal. Witnesses described the chaos as a heartbreaking spectacle, one that none of them would soon forget. The usually composed and calculated Solo had transformed into a whirlwind of violence. The scene was a stark contrast to the unity the Bloodline had always portrayed. Solo's eyes, once filled with loyalty to his family, now burned with a fierce determination to prove his strength. The brutality of his actions shattered the illusion of brotherhood within the group. Jey tried to defend himself, but the intensity of Solo's assault was overwhelming. It was clear that Solo had crossed a line, and as the punches continued to rain down, it became evident that this attack was not just a simple family squabble. It was a violent rupture in the very fabric of the Bloodline. The emotional weight of the situation added another layer of tragedy, as fans and fellow wrestlers alike struggled to comprehend what was unfolding before them. The aftermath. After the brutal attack, WWE officials and medical personnel rushed to Jey's aid. The scene was one of utter devastation. Jey lay battered and broken, his face swollen and bruised, his body limp from the beating he had endured. He had always been seen as the heart and soul of the Bloodline, the glue that held the family together, even as Roman's tyranny threatened to tear it apart. But now, he was left in a vulnerable state, the weight of Solo's betrayal hanging heavy over him. Solo, on the other hand, was pulled away by security, his face still twisted with rage. He showed no remorse, no guilt, only a cold, menacing glare as he was escorted away from the scene. This lack of empathy from Solo only served to deepen the sense of shock and heartbreak surrounding the incident. It was a stark reminder that, in the world of professional wrestling, loyalty can be fleeting, and the bonds of family can be easily shattered. Social media and fan reactions. The WWE Universe is reeling from this attack, and social media is already ablaze with reactions. Fans are torn. Some are horrified by Solo's actions, while others see this as the inevitable conclusion of Jey's rebellion. Hashtags like Solo SIKOA and Jey Uso are trending worldwide, with fans sharing their thoughts on this shocking development. One fan tweeted, "I can't believe Solo did this. Jey has been the heart of the Bloodline, and now Solo has destroyed it all. This is heartbreaking." Another added, "Solo SIKOA has just proved he's more dangerous than anyone realized. The Bloodline is crumbling, and I am here for it." The division in the locker room is palpable, with some superstars expressing sympathy for Jey, while others believe Solo's actions were justified given Jey's recent behavior. As tensions rise, it's clear that this feud is far from over. The aftermath of this attack has thrown the Bloodline into turmoil, leaving the future of one of the most dominant factions in wrestling history hanging in the balance. The implications for the Bloodline. With Solo turning on Jey, it's evident that the internal strife within the Bloodline has reached a boiling point. Roman Reigns, the self-proclaimed tribal chief, has always relied on his family to maintain his iron-fisted rule over WWE. But now, with Solo's violent rebellion, it's clear that he may have lost control over his enforcer. The question looms large. How will Roman react to this unprecedented act of betrayal? Will he view Solo's attack as a necessary move to keep the family in check? Or will he see it as the ultimate betrayal of everything they've built together? Roman has always been the puppet master, orchestrating the actions of his family from the shadows, but now he faces the challenge of restoring order in a faction that appears to be unraveling before his eyes. The future of Jey Uso. As for Jey, he now faces his toughest battle yet, not just against Roman's iron grip, but against his own brother's viciousness. This brutal attack has stripped him of the sense of security that once came with being a member of the Bloodline. The stakes have never been higher. Jey, who has long fought to carve out his own path and step out of Roman's shadow, must now decide whether to continue fighting for his place in the Bloodline or walk away from a family that has betrayed him. The emotional turmoil Jey faces is immense. Being attacked by a brother is one thing, but being attacked by Solo, the one member of the Bloodline who was supposed to have his back, is a betrayal that cuts deep. The scars from this incident may not only be physical, but emotional as well, leaving a lasting impact on Jey's psyche and career. The turning point. This attack marks a significant turning point in Solo SIKOA's career. Until now, he has been seen as the silent enforcer, the muscle behind Roman's reign of terror. However, with this violent act, he has stepped out of the shadows and into the spotlight, and he did it in the most devastating way possible. This was no ordinary attack. It was a statement, a declaration that Solo SIKOA is no longer just a pawn in Roman's game. He is a force to be reckoned with, and he's willing to destroy anyone who stands in his way, even if that person is his own brother. The evolution of Solo's character is striking. Fans have seen flashes of his brutality in the ring, but tonight was different. This was personal, and it transcended the typical boundaries of wrestling rivalries. This was about family, about loyalty, betrayal, and the consequences of unchecked ambition. Conclusion. As the WWE Universe awaits the fallout from this shocking turn of events, one question remains. Can the Bloodline survive this betrayal, or is this the end of the most powerful family in WWE history? The ripple effects of Solo SIKOA's brutal attack on Jey Uso will be felt for years to come. This incident has not only changed the landscape of professional wrestling forever, but it has also set the stage for an epic showdown that fans will not want to miss. With the fate of the Bloodline hanging in the balance, the story of these two brothers is far from over. Buckle up, because the drama is just beginning.